Good morning. It's Thursday morning, and we're here for some wisdom from the book of Proverbs. The home of the wise and the foolish, the two people that show up most in this book. And there are lessons to be learned from each, but this morning we're looking at the fool. Now, the wise person is the one who believes in God. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And yet when bad things happen in his life, the fool blames God. You know, the God that he says doesn't exist. Crazy, right? Well, here's the scripture. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 3. When a man's folly leads his way to ruin, his heart rages against the Lord. Now, if you're a Christian, you're not a fool, but we do some pretty foolish things, including blaming others, blaming someone or something else for our own doing, our own mistakes, and not being able to admit that you're wrong and taking responsibility leads to the blame game. Recently, my granddaughter Kinsley came up to me with a very serious face, stood in front of me and said, "Grandpa, it was a mistake." That was a red flag to me that whatever it was not a mistake. And she handed me the locket that I had purchased for her and Sophia. It was a heart-shaped, or is a heart-shaped locket, and on either side is a picture of them both. A picture of Kinsley, a picture of Sophia, and both of them were gone. They had been torn out. And I looked at the locket, and then I looked at Kinsley, and I said, "Kinsley, this doesn't look like a mistake. I think you tore them out." And her eyes began to water, and her lip began to quiver, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I gave her a big hug, and I said, "Sweetheart, Grandpa will put some new pictures in, but don't do it again." Now this happens. Kinsley is 3 years old. We're grown up, we're adults, and we do the same thing. We blame others for our own mistakes, or we make excuses for them. Instead of trusting God, admitting our mistakes, and trusting God to make us better people. Job was a better person. You know his story. Job lost everything in a day. He lost his family, he lost his friends, he lost his fortune. Ultimately, he would lose his health. And at the end of it all, we read this: "In all this, Job did not sin or blame God for wrong." Now there is a good example. To be able to admit that you're wrong, to not blame someone else or something else for things that you own that are a result of your own mistakes. If you want to blame God for something, blame God for all of the good in your life and give thanks. Don't play the blame game. Have a wonderful Thursday. Again, you can check out our Bible study from last night. It, as always, was a good time. We talked about some of the things I mentioned in this video. So check that out today in the Flock Note. And also, if you have not yet shared with me one of your favorite family traditions for the fall season, Thanksgiving and so on, please do that. I'm storing them up for the Sunday sermon, so I'd appreciate your help. God bless your Thursday.